Hey everybody, Brian here. There's been a lot of conversation about the Beale Street over the last few months, and I think a lot of the perspectives have been, what they think is going to happen, what they think the unit's going to look like. So to me, it's all about how does it cook, and so in the end, as you can see, longtime elite owner, and I've got a Beale Street that's going to my brother's, but before he gets it, I wanted to do a walkthrough for everybody on this site and, of course, answer the big question, how does it cook? As you saw from my surprise post, I have my Elite in the background, but we also have the Beale Street. This is my brother's unit. There he is.
What's up, guys?
And we're here. We've been doing a little bit of cooking. I broke the unit in last night, did a burn-in, and then we've been cooking for the last couple of hours. We've been doing some beef ribs. I have some Malcolm Reed's pork belly burn ends going in my Elite. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to flip this over and we're going to talk about the Beale Street. This way we can actually see it and talk about it firsthand. So here we are. As you can see, I've got the Beale Street here on the left side. I've got my Elite here on the right. Again, these have been going now for probably about 5 hours, and I've been watching temps. We've got probes on the meat, and I know we're here to really talk about the Beale Street, so let me focus on this guy for a second. So looking at it, I mean, in a lot of ways it really has the look of the advantage. You've got the hopper in the front. Jeff, do you mind opening that for a second? So it's about a 12-pound hopper, and for this meal right now, I've got a mix of 50% oak, 25% hickory, and 25% black cherry for this beef. And of course, I did what a lot of folks do. I'm going to leave this little piece in, but we remove the screws just so it's a little easier to get in there and eventually even vac out those pellets if we want to do a swap. So again, this is a front load unit. What I thought was really interesting was if we look, you've got really the same exact controller on this unit as you do on the Elite. So there's my Elite. And at this point, both of these units were started at the same time. They've both been holding a nice 250. The Beale Street actually looks like the meat that's in there is a couple degrees. It's a couple degrees further along, 173 versus the 167. And let's see, what else can we show you? We've got this cart. Of course, this unit comes on a cart where on our Elite models, of course, the cart is integrated. If you have a cart version, it's integrated into the grill. Here, the cart actually came disassembled. There's a couple of screws up on the sides right here. You can see them right up here. So that's part of the assembly. And you see these screws above. That's where they it actually connects to the grill itself. Above that, you'll see we've got, and I'm going to ask Jeff to open up the one on the other side. This guy right here between is your ash port. So let's go. I asked him to open it. Let's see what it looks like. So here we go. There we got it. A little ash bin on the side where, of course, you've got them front load on the Elites. And so steel-wise, this is not the same steel that the Elites have. It's a, I think it's a 430 steel, I think. And where the Elites are a 300 grade steel.
It's the 430.
So this is a 430. And then the Elite is as a 304 steel. But I got to tell you, you look at this unit and it's nice. It's got a real nice look and feel. Again, it's been holding temp pretty well. Jeff, why don't you open it up and let's look inside.
It's got a very manageable handle as well.
Yeah, so it's got, as you can see, the same gasket as you see on the higher end models. The lid itself is actually folded, so it makes a reasonably nice lower seal, even though it's not fully double wall constructed. But you can see, I'm going to see if we can zoom in on it. There's this plate along the back, and you can see right here where the logo is attached. There's like this recess, but there's this pan that has a bit of an insulator behind it that that does create the same, a similar kind of double wall, but it's certainly not the same construction where it's a sealed system all along in the Elites. Again, you're talking about a $2,000 smaller grill versus a $5,000 grill. You really have kind of a premium grade product versus a much, just a product that I think is set for another demographic. And of course, if you're like me and you've got your Memphis, you're probably sitting with an armada of grills, or at least I am. So I like to have the sort of the right tool for the right job here. And so, but getting back to the Beale Street, it's a nice unit. I really can't say anything about it. Again, test-wise, it's been holding temp. We did throw a laser in it once or twice, and it's a reasonable, number as compared to what we've got. Let me just see if there's anything else that I can talk to you about.
I would think actually, you could also mention about the interchangeable grates.
Right? Oh yeah, so it's got a similar grading system than what you see in the Elite and in the other units. I mean, these are, again, solid bar grates. It's not a cheaper, thinner bar. It's not a porcelain grate. So I was really happy to see that. Below, you've got 4 separate smaller grates. And of course, inside there, you've got that pan that you can replace. So right now we've got the sealed centerpiece, but we did pick up some of the accessories, and Jeff is grabbing. You'll see, of course, we've got this for the open fire if we want to really run this thing. Now, I think the last thing we'll talk about at the moment is temp. I did blast this as high as it would go, and it runs about 550, and we know the Elite will go 700 plus if we run it in its in its overdrive mode. So it's again, looks like a nice little unit. Really can't say too much about it. As you can see, the cook has been going along real nicely, and so this meat went in at the same time as what you're seeing here, and overall it's doing a nice job.
It's got a nice pullback on the bone.
Yeah, here it is. Our initial thoughts on the Beale Street. I think Jeff's going to take this back home and start to cook on it. So we'll see more of it over time. But as an initial take, again, these are 2 very different grills, very different markets. If you want this sort of big top of the line, best of breed, you have it. But if you go for this, if you go for the Beale Street, again, you're talking all steel. Quality controller. Auger looked almost identical in the way that it operates. Triple probe. Now at this point, it's just a matter of cooking on it over time, and Jeff's, I think, is going to have some fun with it. Ultimately, big question: how does it cook? So right here we've got our Beale Street ribs. We've got our Elite ribs, and of course Malcolm Reed's pork belly burn ends. So Jeff's going to cut up his ribs and kind of show us what happened on the Beale Street. So please separate those guys. Let's see what it looks like on the inside.
Oh, it feels nice. Moment of truth. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful.
All right.
Nice
and
ring.
then,
Nice
yeah,
ring.
look, you got a nice little smoke ring there. The juices look amazing. So,
That's
don't
okay.
squeeze the juice out.
Don't squeeze
All right,
it.
now take one of the sets off of the Elite. Let's look at those. These are a little bigger, admittedly. I think these were a slightly bigger end. So go ahead and cut those. Also look tender as you cut
There we
through.
go.
And
Wow.
nice. So look, here it is, guys. End product. We've got some really nice ribs coming off. We've not done an all-nighter cook, but as a first cook, I got to say, Jeff, I think we should be really satisfied with what we got from both of those.
I agree. You know what it's time for? It's time to eat.
Yeah, man. Let's eat.